Nom Nom delivers fresh food with whole ingredients backed by veterinarian science. Science tells us that a dog's health starts in the bowl, so improving their diet is one of the best ways to help them live a long and happy life. Nom Nom's food is full of proteins your dog loves and the vitamins and nutrients they need to thrive. All you have to do is order, pour, and serve. Ready to make the switch to fresh? Order Nom Nom today. Go to https://trynom.com/curveball and get 50% off your first order plus free shipping. That's https://trynom.com/curveball. Plus, Nom Nom comes with a money-back guarantee. If your dog's tail isn't wagging within 30 days, Nom Nom will refund your first order. No fillers, no nonsense, just Nom Nom. Welcome to the Living the Dream podcast with Curveball. If you believe, you can achieve. Welcome to the Living the Dream with Curveball podcast, a show where I interview guests that teach, motivate, and inspire. Today, we're going to be talking about outsourcing, as I am joined by the founder of onlinejobs.ph, John Jonas. John teaches entrepreneurs how to replace themselves by using outsourcing. He is the founder of onlinejobs.ph, the largest market for finding Filipino workers. John has used this method to not really have to work that very much. He gets to do what he wants and lives the life that he wants, all due to his method of outsourcing. So, John, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Why don't you start off by telling everybody a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am a husband and a father. I have 5 children and an amazing wife. I am a disciple of Jesus Christ. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons. I am an entrepreneur. I have always run my own businesses. I mean, I had a job for 8 months out of college and found out that I was a terrible employee, and that's the only job I've ever had. I am a mediocre golfer, and I'm an avid skier and cyclist, and I choose to spend my time with my wife and my kids rather than working. So that's a little bit about me.
Well, that's great. So just kind of tell the listeners how you got to that point, because I'm sure there's a lot of us out there that want to do what you're doing rather than working. But just tell us how you kind of got to that point.
Yeah. So how long of a story do you want? I mean, obviously, it's a long story. I can tell you a quick version. I can tell you a medium version. What are you looking for?
Give us a medium version.
All right. So I am very driven by freedom. Like, I'm driven by time freedom. I'm driven by money freedom. I'm driven by just being free from responsibility, and not necessarily from responsibility, certainly in work from responsibility, but just being able to make my own choices. And time freedom is a really, really important one. It's fine to have tons of money, but if you're time strapped making that money, what's the point? So when I was in college, I had a conversation with one of my roommates. He said, what do you want to do after we graduate? And I was like, well, I want to own my own business. And he was like, don't you know that small business owners work more than anyone else? And I said to him, well, I think I can do it differently, because obviously his saying, you're going to be time strapped, didn't resonate with me very well. And my knee-jerk reaction was, well, I'm smarter than all of that, right? Which obviously is ridiculous. So I started my own business. I found out I was working 50, 60 hours a week after I had quit my 9-to-5 job. I started working 24/7 basically. And then I just started searching. Like, I think there's got to be a way to get more help for my business because I'm working too much and I can't keep doing this. And so I started hiring people. I started hiring people locally, and that didn't work out very well. I tried it 4 different times. I tried people in India. That didn't work out very well. I tried Upwork, which actually at the time it was Elance or Odesk before Elance and Odesk merged. This is 2004, 2005. And it wasn't until I got a really good tip from a really, really high level business owner who told me, when you're ready to start outsourcing some of this stuff, make sure you go to the Philippines with it. And I was like, what? I was hesitant. And he said, well, he gave me a reason, and he gave me a reference to where I could hire someone in the Philippines. Because I didn't know how to hire someone then. I was like, this was 2005. How do I find someone in the Philippines? That's impossible. And so I took his advice. It took me a couple months to hire someone because I didn't know if I could keep someone busy. I didn't know if I could afford it. I didn't know if they could do good work. And I just finally decided none of these things matter. I have to try it. I have to make the commitment because otherwise nothing is changing in my business. I'm making more money, but I'm working more. So finally I took the leap. I hired this guy through an agency. He spoke good English. That was his only skill, basically. I didn't know that. The agency just pulled someone off the street for me out of the Philippines. And it was the most liberating experience of my life. His full-time job was to do anything I asked him to do. Anything that I was willing to teach him to do, he was willing to work really hard to try and figure it out and make it work. And after a couple of months, I realized there's 2 of me now. Like, he's doing these 3 or 4 things that I was previously doing, or I was trying to do, but not really getting them done because there wasn't time in the day to do them. And his full-time job is to do these things. And now I'm able to focus on the things that I really want to focus on. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. That was 2005, 2006. And it kind of spiraled from there, where I hired someone else, and I was a programmer. I graduated from College of Computer Science, and I was doing programming, and I was a moderate programmer, not a great programmer. And I hired a really, really talented programmer out of the Philippines, much better programmer than me. And he replaced me in my programming. And I realized, like, oh my gosh, there's like 3 of me now. And I was able to focus on sales finally in my business, which really made things go. So, and that's that's the backstory of how I am where I am today. I mean, I work like 17 hours a week, and I have since like 2010. And I run an 8-figure business, and life is really good.
Well, tell us about onlinejobs.ph. Tell us about what this company provides and what we can expect if we go to the website, or I guess, a business owner can expect.
Yeah. So I told you that I was hiring people through an agency at the time, and I just found the agency, their incentive wasn't what I thought it was. Like, their incentive wasn't to find me someone amazing. Their incentive was just to pull a warm body off the street and see if it worked. Like, they were throwing spaghetti at the wall, and that sucked. I didn't know this at the time, and that's just kind of agency incentives. And after doing it with them multiple times, I finally just said, there's got to be a better way to do this. And I want to be able to recruit someone on my own. I want to be able to, like, look at resumes and contact people and say, hey, are you looking for a job? Can I hire you? So in 2008, I went back to the agency and I said, hey, I'm looking for a programmer. And they gave me a programmer, and we started building onlinejobs.ph. And I designed what I wanted. I designed a job board where Filipino workers could put in their profiles, and I could either just contact them directly or post a job, and they could apply to my job. And I was hoping that maybe we could get a couple hundred profiles in it so I could recruit people on my own. Well, when I launched it, I gave it to the few people that I had working for me. I think in 2008, I had like 6 people working for me in the Philippines. And I gave it to them and said, hey, can you guys like spread the word a little bit? And so they all just spread the word a little bit. And we got a couple hundred profiles in the first month. And it just kind of exploded from there. And I started talking about it, and employers started using it. And so it's a job board, kind of like Indeed.com, but just for the Philippines. So from that initial launch in 2009, we've grown to, there's over 2 million Filipino profiles in the system now. We've had over 500,000 employers use it. It grew like crazy. I had no intention of that. I had no idea, but that's what it is. You'll go on and you'll find incredible talent that's super easy to find, and they're super affordable. And it's, so we don't step in the middle of your relationship with them. We just let you contact them, and then you can step away from us and negotiate with them, hire them away from us. I mean, they don't work for us. We don't mark up salaries. We just provide you the means of finding these people that are amazing. And then you work with them however you want to work with them. So that was the premise behind Online Jobs when I built it. And that's what I've maintained until today.
So if you don't mind me asking, why is onlinejobs.ph only Filipino workers? Is there a certain reason, or is that just the lane that you found and the people that you found, so you're just sticking with it?
Such a good question. So I didn't know this at the time when I was hiring these initial people. I just knew that I was having success. I didn't realize there was a whole set of cultural differences in the Philippines that makes it really, really good and different for outsourcing from Western countries. So like from the US or Canada or UK or Australia, the Philippines just works really, really well, like better than anywhere else in the world that I've seen. And so there's this unique set of cultural differences that like they're super duper loyal, which is a really big deal for a small business owner. They'll never quit working for you as long as you treat them well. They're honest. Like my guys in the Philippines have my credit cards. They have access to my personal email account. They've had my bank account. They have my home address. Like there's honesty once you get to know someone is super, super high. They're very hardworking. They're pleasing. They speak American English. They watch American TV and American movies. They watch Dancing with the Stars. They watch the NBA. So their English is really, really good. You'll never have a communication issue. And they're not entrepreneurial. They don't want to steal your business. They don't want to steal your idea. They don't want to do it on their own. They just want a job. And finding a full-time job that's stable and long-term is a really, really big deal for them. And so if you can provide this person a full-time job, they will, because they're so pleasing by nature, they will go above and beyond what you ask very often to make sure that you're happy, to make sure that things are succeeding, because their livelihood now depends on your business success. And I don't want to paint like this full everything is magic and roses picture, because it's not. You have to work at this. You have to build a relationship with people. You have to treat people well. You have to be a good boss. But it's really amazing when you do that. Like I said, full-time salaries from $450 to $2,000 a month for full-time work. Like on the lower end, you have beginner people, and at the high end, you have like super duper talented programmers, designers, Facebook ads people, social media marketers, sales copywriters, just really any talent you can find in the Philippines, and it's just significantly more affordable than locally. So with that, I get asked probably twice a month saying, hey, will you create this for me in Guatemala? Or will you create this for me in Cambodia? Or let's do this in Brazil. No, sorry, I won't. And because employers have a better experience just generally when they outsource to the Philippines. And so like, I know that you want to help the people of Guatemala. That's cool, but that doesn't make an employer have a good experience. And so that's just not a good idea, but employers do have a good experience in the Philippines. And we've watched the world's outsourcing go there over the last 10, 12 years. Everything has transitioned from India to the Philippines.
Okay, so when an employer uses your service Do they pay like a subscription fee, or how does it work if they check out your service and they decide they want to get somebody from your service?
Yeah, so we made it super simple. You pay to access the database, and that's it. So it's $69 a month. You can cancel at any time. And so what most people do is they join, they post a job, or they post a job, then they pay to join. Once they see that they've gotten applications, you interview the people, you hire whoever you want. You can hire, we don't limit who you can hire or how many you can hire. You contact them and you can immediately pull them off of the platform into your personal email. And then most employers, when they hire what they need, they cancel. Most of the time, it only takes 1 month. So you pay $69, takes you 1 month. It takes you a couple days or a couple hours to hire someone. You cancel, and then you're on your own. Like, we don't mark up their salaries. Like Upwork or Fiverr or Freelancer, they all take a 20% cut of salaries. Actually, Fiverr takes more than that, but they take a 20% cut of their salaries. So whatever you're paying them, that person's getting 20% less, which that's a big deal when you're paying someone $500 for the month and they're only getting $400. That's a really big deal. So we don't do that. We just let them they get the whole 500. You can pay them through PayPal. You can pay them through, we have a payment service at onlinejobs.ph, easy pay. You can use Wise to pay them. You can pay them once a week. You can pay them once a month. You can pay them every other week. Just depends on what you agree with them. We don't mandate any of that. It's all up to you.
So in general, as this is a two-part question, what kind of work or employers use your service, and is this only for virtual services?
So yes, it's only for virtual. We want the people in the Philippines to stay in the Philippines. And so, you're in the US and you want to hire help for your business. So you're going to hire someone in the Philippines. They're going to work online or on the phone or just on the computer, whatever they're going to do. And they're going to do their work and they're going to send it to you. And they can work your time zone. They can work their time zone, whatever you work out with them. I would recommend that they work their time zone, but yeah. So we have employers. I mean, you name it, we have someone in that industry hiring people in the Philippines, from like small business owners, entrepreneurs, internet businesses, e-commerce, physical commerce, realtors, insurance agents, Google, Uber, Canva, Speedo, lawyers, doctors, physical stores, service-oriented businesses, agencies, everything. Any business you can imagine, they're using onlinejobs.ph to find people. And you can find any talent, any sort of talent you're looking for. I mean, so on my team, I have 40 full-time people in the Philippines. We don't have any US people. I have graphic designers. I have video editors. I have that video editor also edits podcasts and audio. I have a user interface designer. I have an HR person. I have multiple programmers. I have quite a few customer service people. I have admin people, like admin data security, data verification. I have project managers. I have social media managers. I have content writers. I just named a whole bunch. I have people that do lead generation. But then there's I have a friend that hired an investment banking analyst. He said to me, this guy's a $250,000 a year person, and we're paying him $1,500 a month. I know someone recently told me they hired an accounting auditor, and the guy's doing amazing, amazing work for them. They have the realtor brand in the Philippines. So you get realtors that are barely making any money and they need to make more, and they find out, I have all the realtor knowledge. I'll just be a real estate assistant to a realtor in the US. And and they're super, super knowledgeable and experienced, and it works really, really well. So yeah, and basically anything you can think of, that can be done online, you can find someone. And typically, whatever your software is that you're using, you can probably find someone that's already experienced with that software. So like any bookkeeping software or your CRM or whatever it is, your shopping cart software, there's lots of people in the Philippines that already know it, are experienced with it, and it's super easy to find and hire them.
Do you have any current or upcoming projects that you're working on that people need to know about?
So the thing that I am working on and have been working on for the longest time is getting the word out more. So that's my thing. I mean, we're working on a lot of things at onlinejobs.ph. We're always working on things to improve the employer experience. That's our primary focus all the time. We want employers to have a better experience, meaning they're finding more trustworthy people, which, most people are trustworthy anyway, but employers don't know that. Or they're finding higher quality people, or it's easier to find what they want. So that's what we work on all the time. And then I just work on getting the word out because it's so good. I get emails from people every day saying, thank you so much. I love my Filipino team. But a lot of people just don't know. They have no idea that this exists, or they have no idea how good it is, or they have no idea about onlinejobs.ph, or they have no idea how to hire help. And so I just try and get the word out to make it available to people.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. So if you know some people out there looking for virtual workers, onlinejobs.ph, please be sure to follow, rate, review, share this episode to as many people as possible. Help John get the word out. If you have any guests or suggestion topics, cjackson102@cox.net is the place to send them. Once again, the website is onlinejobs.ph. As usual, thank you for listening. And John, thank you for telling us about this wonderful service that you provide.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
For more information on the Living the Dream podcast, visit www.djcurveball.com. Until next time, stay focused on living the dream.